Thought the win was important, but is that your best performance under Ralf?
Yeah, probably first half as a team, I would say so. Yeah, I feel like we were still a little bit flat second half for whatever reason. I don't know. We need to get that for a full 90 minutes, which I don't think we've had many times this year. But yeah, as I say, we're learning and adapting, and the game against Newcastle was difficult, you know, so we have to bounce back from something like that. I think the manager said that we set a record for the most amount of turnovers in the league for a long time, so that message was clear: keep the ball better, forward passes more, all the rest of it, what the manager wants. So I feel like the first half was positive. Yeah.
He wanted more energy. In particular, what did you find in the first half?
Yeah, I feel like there was more energy, but goals help energy. Obviously, goals help energy. Obviously, if we bang 2 or 3 in against Newcastle in the first half, I feel like the whole team gets more energy. So, goals putting in the back of the net is so important. And for us, it's learning and adapting. I don't think we've been good enough over the course of the whole season, to be fair. So now it's time that we start really stepping up and doing much better. And the manager's so demanding, his coaching staff as well, that we have to. There's no other choice. We have to step up. You play for Man United. It's the only way.
Well, you started the ball rolling. First goal of the season. Have you been working on your shooting?
Yeah, obviously a lot of the times this season I've been a little bit deeper. Last season I could get to the box a little bit more and stuff like that. Today it was more, I was saying to Aaron, you stay, but yeah, I was struggling this morning before the game to actually play, to be fair, so managed to pull through.
What was up?
My right foot.
Oh, okay. It looked all right tonight.
After Newcastle, but no, I'm fine. Recovered well, so yeah, we've got another game in.
You got the one, you could have had 3.
Yeah, I know. Normally when it was the same against Leeds, I could have had 3 or 4 against Leeds, and obviously similar tonight, their goalkeeper made an amazing save for Cristiano's goal, and obviously the one in the second half was a great save as well. But no, as I say, we're all learning, we're all adapting. We play for Man United, we're dominant, and we need to get results, and that's simple.
The smiles are back. There were questions raised about the team spirit, about players arguing with each other at Newcastle. Was that a fair point?
Yeah, I wouldn't say so. I feel like the whole reason why the performance was disappointing against Newcastle was the turnovers. It was a simple
frustration.
I feel like off the ball against Newcastle we weren't as bad as what people are saying. Obviously body language is one thing, and the manager's completely come and cut that out, and he said he wants no more. So that's final. All the players are firmly taking that on board, and it's important that we do.
You're 4 points behind Arsenal now, who are 4th. You've got a game in hand. Is 4th the minimum?
Yeah, listen, obviously it's the old cliche, but new managers come in. It's different. We're adapting. We're learning. We don't want to look too far ahead. Obviously, it's such a cliche thing to say in football, but the next game against Wolves is more important than anything that we've got on our minds at the minute.
Nonetheless, it is a big boost in terms of Manchester United's top 4 hopes come May. But Scott McTominay there, getting 3 attempts on target. It's the most he's ever had in a game for Manchester United. Is that one thing that's missing from his game for you, Paul? Because he got on the score sheet today. Do you want to see more of that from him?
Yeah, I do. I think he's been... I mean, even last year was probably one of United's better players. I think with Fred, because they're kind of playing 2 holding, then you had Pogba, you had Fernandes, you know, he wasn't really allowed to venture forward. Yeah. You know, and this was always the problem. Does Ollie play a 1 holding with a 2 forward? I think today you saw the fact that the experience of Matic, who's played there for all his career, knows that holding position role and allows him to venture forward. And you've got to do that as a Man United player. Scholesy did it, Keane did it, Robson did it, all these great players did it. And I think that's something that's always been missing from his game. People say, well, he's still young, he's still learning. He's not, he's 25, 26 now. You know, he should know what type of player he's going to be. But if he can add goals like he did today, then he's going to be a very, very good player for United.
You noticed there was almost a similarity behind the goal today.
Everyone, yeah. Everyone was the same, sort of coming off this right-hand side, so the ball coming across. Side foot, you get a natural right to left bend on it. They almost got further and further out, and the level of difficulty got harder and harder. First one he put in, second one, brilliant effort, saved onto the post, and then, of course, the third one was well saved as well. So all of them made the keeper work, if they, you know, of course, with the first one going in. So he was not just shooting, but he was accurate in his shooting, and as Paul says, if he can add that to his game as well, and maybe even get the licence to play a little bit further forward, we might see a different type of player.
Yeah, I think he's someone when... I mean, me and Michael were speaking about Harry Maguire and how I think his performance haven't been great this season. And, you know, I said to Michael, maybe it might be a case of taking the armband away from Maguire and just letting him concentrate on his performances. And me and Michael were like, well, who would you give it to? Who would you give it to? I think that could be your answer, Michael. I think, with experience, if he keeps putting his performance, he could be one of those who could get the armband. I don't know what you think, but I know we spoke about it before the show.
Is he enough of a leader, though, when you've got the likes of Bruno Fernandes and Cristiano Ronaldo finally on the pitch?
They are leaders in a certain way, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that 100%, that's what they've been lacking for years now, real leaders. I mean, that last generation, I suppose, at the end of Paul's time, but then the Rio Ferdinands, the Scholesies, the Giggs, that was the last generation when I've looked at Manchester United and thought, oh, wow, 7, 8 real captains, real top players. Now you're sort of 1, 2, 3, make a case for him, maybe. There's no leadership really in the team as a whole.
Yeah.
And that was my question when we were talking about the armband. If Maguire doesn't have it, who do you give it to? Ronaldo for a year or so? Fernandes? I don't know. McTominay could develop into that type of player, actually.
Interesting. So we're at half-time in the last league game of 2021. It's been an entertaining first 45. Manchester United leading Burnley by 3-1. United needed a fast response, I suppose, after what happened against Newcastle on Monday. And they got just that, Paul, 8 minutes in, and Scott McTominay struck.
Yeah, they did. I mean, it was a fantastic start from both sets of sides, not just Manchester United. Burnley had a few chances beforehand, but, it's important when you're playing a team like Burnley to get the first goal. And that's what they get. They get a little bit luckier. I think Ronaldo tries to play it for himself, but like a good midfield player, just backing things up, puts it in the back of the net. From a Burnley point of view, you've got to be disappointed. I mean, they've got 8 players in the box against Man United 2. Midfield players, where's the danger? Where's my midfield man? It's on the edge of the box. The distance between the two of them, can't get out. And once Westwood does get out, defend it. Sean Dyche's team's about throwing your body on the line and turn sideways. Look at this, from this angle, it's perfect. Turn sideways. If he goes square, that's not a goal, and Burnley are not 1-0 down.
Yeah, it's a very nice finish from McTominay. Very nice indeed. I mean, the ball comes when he actually uses his man to curl the ball around. And later on in the game, he does the same again.
Yeah. For 2-0, Jadon Sancho thought he got his first United League goal at Old Trafford. Dare I say, celebrations will be short-lived once he finds the deflection.
Oh, he'll know. He'll know. He knows exactly that wasn't going in. I mean, it's average play from Burnley, really, on this near side. No desire. They're getting in each other's way. They don't really run back fast enough, sort of ambling back, limping back, and Manchester United spring. Jadon Sancho, who's been pretty quiet, I think, in his Manchester United career so far, knocks a ball across and Ben Mee just gets a little toe end on it into the far corner. It's very unfortunate for Burnley, but do you know what? You make your own luck, and I think they've been really poor this half.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Michael, once a Sean Dyche team, once Sancho comes inside, a normal Ben Mee is doing what? He'll be throwing himself at one, he'll be throwing his body on the line, just dangling a little leg out as if like, I can't be bothered, And that's not a Sean Dyche's team. That's what worries me about them.
Yeah.
You mentioned Scott McTominay. He played a big part for the third goal for United.
He did, yeah. I mean, it was very similar in many ways to the first goal. The ball comes across, and just as the man's come in, he uses him to bend it round. Manchester United, nice switch of play, and then they feed it back across into the centre of the pitch, and he just again feeds it around his man. And do you know what? It looks like an easy finish, and it is for that man because he's a great player. But I think people watching, you don't have to smack the ball into the back of the net. If you hit this hard, you probably go over the ball. He just kills the pace and knocks it into the net. But Paul again, Burnley defensively.
Exactly, Mike. We saw it in the first goal with Westwood. As Michael said, they switched to play really well. United. As a midfield player, I'm thinking, where's my man? Where's my man? Again, not there tight enough. Once he gets there, he's got to go all the way. He can't stop, and when you do stop, he turns his body. It's a wonderful strike. It's a great save from Hennessy, but if I'm Sean Dyche, I'll be looking at thinking those goals could have been prevented just by showing a bit more desire.
Yeah. Have Burnley given themselves a lifeline?
Yeah, they need to see. I mean, I was looking at 5 or 6, and, I think obviously from a Man United point of view, they'll be really disappointed. And, it's a great run at the start, but the touch from Bailly is horrendous. And to be fair, Lennon's got a lot to do. I'm not sure when Maguire's backing off. Maybe he's frightened of Lennon's pace, even though Lennon's probably about 40 nowadays. But he's backing off Maguire all the time. Instead of going to the ball, let Lennon commit himself. But he doesn't. He backs off, and to be fair, Mark, it's a wonderful finish, isn't it?
It is. It's a lovely finish. I mean, he takes, Maguire to one side and then cuts it back into the far corner. It's a beautiful finish, and he does everything absolutely perfectly. But again, from Manchester United's point of view, Bailly's touch, just little things like that. It's just like, how can you have a touch that bounces off 6 yards? It really is poor. But fortunately for him, they're in a great position, 3-0 up, and they might be able to afford that mistake.
Is that more like it from Manchester United, or have Burnley given them a helping hand?
Yeah, let's not be fooled by that. This, as I said, a lot of goals could have been prevented. It was a kind of, when you play like you did against Newcastle, the team that you want to play at home is probably Burnley or Norwich. They've got Burnley, and you've seen from the first 45 minutes, United not exhilarating. I'm not seeing anything different apart from the fact they've got 2 or 3 goals. But, you know, they need to be better than that to make sure that I think they're where they should be, that's for sure.
Manager aside, how much of it is down to the players' attitudes to adapt to the new manager's ways?
It's hard to adapt to a manager if you're not sure if he's going to be there next season. That's one thing. It really, really is. It really is. I mean, I've been part of a team that's an interim manager, you know, so you don't know whether he's going to be there next year. You don't know if he's making the calls. You don't know what players he's allowed to bring in January. But when you look at performances and you look at some of the body language from some of the players, and we've seen it, you know what I mean? Everyone's seen it, you know. It can't be right. That wouldn't happen in my day, or Michael's day. If someone was throwing their arms up or doing this or running down the tunnel, they'll be getting pulled aside and say, oi, we don't do that at this club.
Well, look, let's have a closer look at this Manchester United 11 then. So 6 changes, as we've already mentioned. This is how they line up. 3 changes alone, incidentally, in the back line. So Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Eric Bailly and Luke Shaw are back in defence, with Harry Maguire keeping hold of his position, of course, the club captain. Nemanja Matic is as part of the double pivot alongside Scott McTominay. And then you've got Jadon Sancho and Cristiano Ronaldo also in from the off. Edinson Cavani is the other change. So, of course, Ronaldo and Cavani together for the first time since the Spurs win. And that gave us lots of hope, did it not, back then? It's taken 8 games for that partnership to come back together, Michael.
It's what the Manchester United fans want to see. I mean, 2 players, 2 superstar players. OK, the combined age is quite scary, to be honest, to think that Manchester United's 2 main centre-forwards are of that age. But they're still world-class players. Cavani, you know, in particular, has got great movement. Of course, we all know what Cristiano Ronaldo is all about. But I think we saw it against West Ham earlier on in the season in London, and I thought they were really electric together. And then, of course, the win against Tottenham, and then again tonight. We haven't seen them enough together, but certainly the Manchester United fans want to see more of it. Yeah,
not surprising, of course, considering Cavani was on the score sheet against Newcastle. Your take on that 11?
Listen, I think looking at the way Burnley play, I know Sean Dyche won't probably like that. They do like to go long at times. And I think he's probably got Matic in there for height, but Wan-Bissaka are defenders. You know, they look quite a big team, Manchester United, looking at that setup there. So I think a lot of that's to do with the way Burnley play, set pieces, that type of stuff. But as I've said, the main 2 we're talking about, as Michael said, is Ronaldo and Cavani as a partnership because, you know, he sparks things off for me, Cavani. You know, I think the players want him in the team. You know, he presses, he sets the thing off. So, and he's an assassin. When it comes to scoring goals, he's an assassin.
Well, Joseph, what a party.
Yeah, it was a great victory for the players, the fans and everyone.
What do you think about your performance?
I think it was good and each game it keeps getting better.
We need this match, no, with 3 goals.
Yeah, it was really great because we fought hard for this victory and everyone deserved to be happy.
Bueno, es el mejor partido de la temporada en lo que va de Liga, ¿no?
No sé si el mejor, pero sí el que hemos sabido jugar con el marcador a nuestro favor, que nos estaba costando mucho. Y sobre todo felices por ganar en casa, porque nos estaba costando muchísimo. Desde que hay público en el estadio solo habíamos ganado un partido de no sé cuántos. O sea que hoy el partido creo que era fundamental porque nos ponemos también a 3 puntos del Español, que es un rival directo, para alejarnos de ahí abajo, para irnos tranquilos de vacaciones y pensar en lo que viene.
Con el partido contra el Valencia también nos ponemos por delante, pero el Chacho se quejaba, ¿no? Un poco que nos había faltado controlar el partido. Hoy es lo que tú dices, ¿no? Se ha conseguido.
Bueno, sobre todo hoy no hemos tenido errores individuales que nos pagaron contra el Valencia. Creo que es un partido para sacar conclusiones positivas. Hemos vuelto a ganar en casa. Tenemos que hacernos fuertes aquí de lo que queda de temporada, porque fuera de casa sí el equipo está respondiendo bien y tenemos que seguir esta línea.
Cuéntame el gol, ¿no? Porque ha sido una jugada rápida, pero cuando te ha llegado ha sido como mucha pausa, las pican. ¿Cómo ha sido?
Bueno, recibo de Hugo, controlo y normalmente Diego López suele salir a tapar. Veo muchos partidos y Diego López en los 1 para 1 suele salir a tapar, entonces yo controlo y él no ve lo que voy a hacer, entonces intento picársela un poquito y cruzársela con tranquilidad.
¿Cómo ya tocaba?
Tocaba, pero ahora mismo sentimos una alegría inmensa, ya no solo por el partido, sino estamos trabajando como el que más, estamos en el día a día muy sacrificados, con los pies en la tierra, con humildad, y al final somos una piña y hoy nos lo merecíamos y se lo merecía también la afición, que pues mira, no estamos ganando, no nos están saliendo los partidos en casa y aún así la afición cree en nosotros, nos apoya y nos transmite el cariño día a día.
Eso te iba a decir, has dicho que sois una piña equipo, pero la afición también. Hemos visto ese momento tan bonito ahí en la esquina.
Sí, sabemos que le debemos mucho a esta afición, no solo de esta temporada, sino que por desgracia hemos vivido un par de temporadas muy jodidas sobre todo a nivel mental, muy difíciles de sacar, y las hemos sacado esas temporadas gracias al apoyo de ellos. En otra situación, en otro equipo, la afición lo dejaría de lado, y aquí, cuanto peor iban las cosas, más estaban con uno y con el equipo. Y eso es de agradecer, y se lo agradeceremos hoy, mañana y en un futuro.
En lo personal, vuelves después de varias semanas que parecía que sí, pero al final no, 90 minutos con asistencia.
La verdad que bueno, no estoy al 100%, pero creo que he podido ayudar al equipo. Venía de mucho tiempo parado, unos problemas que no se me daban ido. Entrenaba, tenía que volver a parar, volví a aparecer, volví a parar. Bueno, espero que ahora sea el fin de esta lesión del carajo, porque ya estoy frito, y que pueda ayudar y contribuir al equipo.
Saca 2001, 2022.
Por el 2022 a tope. Tenemos que seguir con los pies en la tierra, saber quiénes somos, de dónde venimos, y con esta afición, con el equipo, con el compañerismo y el sacrificio. No quiero ser pesado, pero creo que son las claves para mirar hacia adelante en un futuro.
Gracias, Hugo.
Gracias a vosotros.
Gracias, Hugo.